Good afternoon, Apple fam. Courtney, once again. Glad you all are here to join me today for our third part in our four-part series of our healthy eating, women's only weight loss program, kind of combining the two. General information for all of you. We are tackling a lot today. So enough small talk, we're just gonna dive right in. First topic today we're gonna go over is fats. After that, we're going to go a little bit more into detail of knowledge in food and calories and how we tackle that in our life. And then the last one is stimulus control. This is an awesome topic. Awesome. Let's get into it. Fats. Let's start with the basics. There are good fats. Fat is good for you. There are so many benefits that you can get out of fats. So let's start with our first. Let's talk about monounsaturated fats. We use these to replace the saturated fats. They lower our LDL, raise HDL, improve insulin resistance. Ways to get this are going to be your olive oil, avocado oil, most nuts you can get it from as well. These are excellent source of diets. This is a lot of, in one of our past videos, shoot, I wish I could remember who did it, but I know it was on the brain health. So it wasn't even part of my series, but it was discussed, the Mediterranean diet was discussed. And I was super excited about it because I'm like, hey, we go over this in our program as well. So the Mediterranean diet is, these people live a lot off of fats. Their diets are consist of mostly 30 to 40% healthy fats. A lot of these, like I said, can come from your olive oil. That's where a lot of theirs came from. Olive oil, olives, fun stuff like that. Fats are good. Again, let's get into polyunsaturated fats. These are your omega-3s. The polyunsaturated fats are the ones that we need to more so go out of our way to eat because our bodies don't naturally. I have my handy book here today because this is a lot of information as far as fats go. So I got this is our Beyond Diets book handy that I'm using here today. So the alpha linoleic acid is an essential fatty acid, meaning this isn't manufactured in our bodies. So this is why we have to go out of our way to get the omega-3s. We get these through things such as flaxseed, walnuts, and seafood. Seafood's huge, guys. Shellfish, everything. Seafood is an excellent way to get your healthy fats in. These lower your triglycerides, they reduce blood clotting, and they reduce cardiovascular disease as well. Let's get into your polyunsaturated omega-6s. Now this one is different in that we don't actually have to go out of our way to get these omega-6s because we get a lot of these in our everyday eating and a lot of the foods that we eat regularly. These are found in things such as our canola oil, safflower oil, and we don't really have to worry about it. With the saturated fats, it's a matter of being balanced and getting the amount of your omega-3s and your omega-6s. So let's get into the not so healthy fats. Those are going to be such as our saturated fats. Our book, I love our book. It actually grades all of these fats with so say our monounsaturated fats got a B+, our polyunsaturated fats got an A+, and polyunsaturated fats got a B-. Saturated fats get a big fat F. Big fat F. These are found in things such as animal products like meats, poultry, milk, cream, butter, cheese, and eggs. These we really need to watch our portions on as far as our consumption of these. And that's part of our problem with heart disease in the United States right now is that a lot of that comes from like the fast foods that we're eating, the deep fried foods. Terrible. That is why we have such a problem with heart disease in our country is we are choosing the fast food. We're choosing what's easy and quick over home cooked, over natural, over using the olive oils. It's sticking with your healthier fats. Last but not least, the ugliest of all ugly is going to be our trans fats. Another big fat F. Now we don't get as much of these anymore. It's been looked at by the food people. It's been looked at, and it's basically we can't put these in foods anymore. But here's the trick. right here, it states that trans fats, they don't have to be listed on the product if it's less than 0.5 grams per serving. So even if there is 0.5 grams in it, they don't have to put it. So you could still be getting those unhealthy trans fats. This is going to lead me into our next topic of knowledge of food and calories. How do we know? How do we know the amount of fats we're getting? How do we know the calories that we're getting out of these? It's paying attention to the food labels and paying attention to what you're eating. Labels in nutrition, it's really eye-opening, you guys. Paying attention to the labels that are on the food is going to tell you what exactly is going into your body and what it is doing for you. Huge eye-opener. Years ago, I tell this story to all my clients. A lot of you, if you've worked with me, have heard this story. But for me, one of the big eye-opening moments when I started paying more attention to food labels was I was looking at yogurt, okay? So yogurt is something where we go to the store and we see all the different kinds. And in our heads, generally, we're like, yogurt's good. You know, it has probiotics. It's good for digestive health. All the ladies in the commercials look so happy and healthy eating it with their berries and granola. Pick up a container of, say, regular strawberry yogurt and look at just how much sugar is added into that yogurt. The one I looked at that day had 25 grams of sugar in that little cup of yogurt. The American Heart Association recommends that women should be getting around 24 to 25 grams of sugar at the most a day. Not only that, you're going to take this yogurt that you think is super healthy that you're eating, you're going to sprinkle some of your granola on it. There's more added sugar. So this is where the knowledge comes in and actually paying attention to what you're eating. So the cool thing is, let me tell you something about the Beyond Diets program that we teach. It's called Beyond Diets for a reason. We're not teaching diets. We're not teaching fad diets. We're simply teaching you simple, back to basics facts on how to eat and still maintain weight loss, be healthy. It's a slow process, and that's the key. Quick diets, quick fixes are going to be a quick weight loss, which result in quick gain back because they are not sustainable. With the Beyond Diets program, it's sustainable because you do have the freedom to eat. You just have the knowledge of the food and calories. It's like money. You are paying attention to how many calories you have for a day and how much each thing you eat costs. It's like balancing a checkbook. I don't even know if anybody does that anymore. But it's like balancing a checkbook of just subtracting those calories from your total for the day and realizing, oh, cool, guess what? Healthier food I can eat a whole lot more of than the unhealthy food. That's where looking at your nutrition labels is going to play a huge part. That's your price tag, pretty much. All of the food that you're eating, that nutrition label is your price tag for what it's going to cost on your bank statement for what you're eating. So we're going to look into, say, what we discussed fruits and vegetables yesterday, for an example. So knowledge of your fruits and vegetables, it goes into a little bit more depth of your higher, in your fruits and vegetables, the ones that have a higher water content are obviously going to be the ones that are lower in calories. I mean, your lettuce, celery, cucumbers, watermelon, things like that. I love them. Those are my favorite because I can eat a lot of them, a lot, and it tastes good and you feel good eating it. Whereas compared to, say you get that yogurt, how many cucumber coins can you eat to add up to that yogurt? You can eat a lot more of the healthy food than you can the higher calorie, not healthy foods. Your sweeter fruits and vegetables are obviously going to be higher in calories. So it's paying attention to that and paying attention to what it's going to do on your food bank statement. And then your grains. So grains are a huge one. They're so good for you. Carbs, grains, that's not bad. It's just a matter of eating your whole grains, not processed, and watching your portions on what you are eating as far as your whole grains goes. Same with proteins. So your proteins are, you want to stick to your fish, obviously, as I talked about in fats. Fish, chicken, lean turkey, avoiding your red meats, because that's where you're going to get a lot of your high fat, high calorie. That's the problem. We go out to eat, we go to fast food restaurants, we get the hamburgers, we get the steak. Don't get me wrong, I love steak. Love it, but it's all in moderation and adding it to your calories and your calorie intake. Condiments are a huge one. Let's talk about condiments. Salad dressings are a huge culprit. The one thing when you go to a restaurant, I've learned to always ask is if the salad dressing comes on the side or on the salad. I made this mistake. I can't even remember where I was. A few weeks ago, I ordered a salad. Forgot to ask. I got this salad. It was just drenched in their dressing. And I'm so used to not eating a lot of condiments that this salad, it was so overwhelming. It was so heavy. And when a salad shouldn't taste that way. So little tricks that I like to do. You can still have your salad dressing, okay? Pay attention. I keep the cup next to my salad. Take your fork, dip it in your salad, eat it. Perfect salad to dressing ratio, tastes perfect. Or stick to your lower calorie vinaigrettes, oil and vinegars that you put on it. It's a key. Pay attention to your pancake syrup is a huge one. It's considered a condiment. Mayo on your sandwiches, mayo. Mustard's okay. Mustard's very low in calories, if any. Ketchup, I prefer to stick with the low sugar ketchup. Let's talk about peanut butter. Gosh darn peanut butter, I love it. Let's be honest. I don't know if there are any other peanut butter lovers out there. I love it. It is one of those things, though, where if I get into it, I'm going to continue eating. It is so good. Don't get me wrong. That natural peanut butter, again, you can get your healthy fat out of, but it's a matter of, can you just stick to 1 tablespoon? And let's go back to the measuring discussion. Are you going to measure exactly just 1 tablespoon? Because if not, that 1 spoonful can look a lot like a tablespoon, but just that extra could be an extra 75 to 100 calories that you may not even be counting on your tracking sheets. So that's a huge one. It is just being aware of your portion sizes and paying attention to the food and calories that you are eating. Let's move on. That leads us, funny that I talk about peanut butter, let's go into stimulus control. For anybody that doesn't know what stimulus control means, stimulus control is what we are keeping in our environment at home. Especially now with us all being at home a lot more, all day, every day, it is huge that we are paying attention to what we have in our kitchens. It's taking an inventory of our environment, knowing what's there, identifying our trigger foods. I don't care who you are, you all have one. We all have a trigger food. I love cookies. I love them. I will eat them all. Okay? It's keeping them out of the environment, because if they're there, I know it's going to tempt me. Leading on to the next point, you cannot just depend on your willpower. You can't. Because if it's there, it's going to be up in the cupboard. You can put it away. It'll be up there. You can put it down in the cupboard. You know it's there. You can do good for a few days, but it's going to slowly call you, like the cookies do. They call me, Courtney, I taste really good. I'm delicious. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love cookies. It is recognizing your trigger food, not even bringing it into your environment. So that leads us to grocery shopping, making a list beforehand of what you are going to bring into the home. We're home a lot, where you're going to be at home. Food is tempting. We eat out of boredom. Let's be honest. You're going to be at home. There's going to be times we're going to be bored. What is there to do? I want to eat. Watching what you have in your environment. If it's not there, you aren't going to eat it. So don't buy it. Stick to that perimeter of the grocery store. Buy your healthy foods. And that's what you're going to reach for. Again, like I mentioned the other day, you're going to reach for the pre-made carrots and celery that you have in there if there's nothing else. If you have that bag of Doritos up in the cupboard, you are going to reach for those because they're going to call for you. Substitute your favorite type of things with lower calorie foods is another way of going about it. That's again leads us back to paying attention to nutrition labels, your calories, and how much is actually in what you are eating. Stimulus control is going to help us avoid the problem altogether. If it's not there, let's be honest, you're not going to eat it. Short little story time that this always reminds me of. A few years back, I was getting ready for a bodybuilding figure competition, and I was at work, and this was at another different place, not Apple. And there was a really sweet old man that I had become friends with that would come in and see me, and he didn't know I was getting ready for a competition. It was Valentine's Day. I was working, he came in, and he brought in, guys, it wasn't just a small box, a cute little box of chocolates. It was huge, this box of chocolates. I was in the middle of prepping for a competition, obviously not on my food plan and does not fit into my calories. I'm not going to say no. I did bring it home. I stuck it in the freezer, out of sight, out of mind. However, let me tell you, I knew it was there the whole time. I did. I knew it was there, and it got to the point where I would give it to my son. I just was giving it to people because I wanted them to be enjoyed. Didn't want to throw them away. I let others enjoy them. So it was not there anymore because I knew it was in my freezer. So you guys, it's a matter of paying attention to what is in your surroundings. This is also an opportunity. I hear a lot, well, I have kids, they have foods, and I, sometimes like to nibble on their foods. Look at this as an opportunity to put everybody maybe on a healthier habits, getting your little ones on healthier habits. So we don't have the chips in the house, but hey, I have some grapes for you. I have some carrots. I have some celery on hand. This is something that everybody in the entire family can benefit from. It's helping you. It's helping the kids develop healthier habits. With that, you guys, that is our, is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. That is our Wednesday series of healthy eating. I'm so glad you all are joining me. Hang in there. This is a crazy time. Stick to your healthy eating. Remember, control what you're bringing into your environment. When you go to the store, bring in that healthy food, read the labels, be more aware of what you are eating. Our next and last part of our series is going to be Friday at noon, so we will see you guys then.